Google just shut down a massive chunk of their cold email infrastructure today, and it's mainly affecting cold emailers. So if you're sending emails and your inboxes went down, this is what happened, and I'm going to walk through it now. And I'm also going to go through a couple of steps on how you can avoid this in the future, because it's never good when you're servicing clients and stuff just kind of goes down. So I have a quick Miro board in here, and yeah, just really quickly, the way you're getting your inboxes. So this is you. So this is you. Good old, we'll do Timmy, or we'll just do Tim because I can right now. And you're happy, and you're sending cold emails, and you're like, oh, okay, we're spamming everybody in the U.S. market. And the way you're getting your inboxes is you're first of all, you're going to email infrastructure, right? You're going to these resellers. They're selling Google. They're selling Outlook. I'm just gonna put out because I can't write. They may be selling SMTP, right? And there's lots of different ways of going about this right now, right? Ooh, that's wrong. Control Z. And there's lots of different ways of going about this, but basically you're going to a reseller and they're selling you these inboxes. And what is going on is these resellers obviously have to get their inboxes from somewhere. And just to continue on the sequence, I'll explain how they get them. But this then goes to, how to describe this? This then goes to your like sequencer, QUENCER, right? So you get the inboxes, and then obviously we're leaving out the domains because that's a whole different thing. I'm going to put a dash here just for some reason. But yeah, so these guys are getting inboxes. You're buying off them. They're making a hefty margin. And if we're looking at it here, if you've seen there's like a big price disparity in the market, like some people are selling inboxes for like $5, some people are selling them for $2, and you're like, why is there some people selling them for more, some people selling them for less? Like, are the people selling them for $2 making less margin or more margin? The people selling them for $5, are they making more margin? Like how is this all working? So this is what they're doing, right? So we have Google, right? And long story short, there's four-ish, give or take, ways. There's five, but we'll go through five of them because one of them is kind of like you don't really do it. But the first way is buying direct, right? This is what people used to do a long time ago. Back in, I don't know, like 23 when I used to do emailing, which I still do. I say used to, but I still do emailing. But back when I used to do emailing with the direct mailboxes, it used to be super expensive because these guys are like $7.20 per inbox, and it's like holy shit, like holy, like what am I gonna do? It's just eating up my margin. Right? So this is $7.20. You can buy direct. People don't really do this anymore. There's too much stuff with the cards. Even if you use virtual credit cards, you then have to like log in via different IPs and stuff because you're gonna get flagged. Google has all their like you're trying to beat $1 trillion company, so try have fun with that. And then so this is the way that everyone used to do back in like 23 or whatever, or even before that. And then everything got like way more competitive, and people were like, "Hey, like, how do we start getting these inboxes for cheaper directly from Google?" So there is a couple other ways, right? So these three ways are if you have super cheap inboxes, and I'll tell you the numbers because this is what I do. Right? You have legacy, you have EDU, and then you have none, and this is profit. So this is like basically charity work, right? And long story short, right, these are able to sell their inboxes to you for basically completely for free. And I'll explain to you how this works, right? So legacy panels were panels that you could get a while back. I'm talking like, I think it was 2011 or 2013. It was definitely before 2015, right? And you're able to source, um, this is a panel, and you could put business licenses on it, and you could put 300 Gmail inboxes, like with domains, like actual business emails on this legacy panel. And it was completely for free. Like you were able to just set it up. You could do it before 2015, and you just got these legacy panels. You could have 100 domains, and you could have 300 inboxes. And the reason I know this is the case is because I use these, right? I think this was back in November of 24. I bought two legacy panels for about, I think it was give or take, it was $2,000, right? But for that $2,000, I got 600 Google inboxes. So most people, even on the low end, if they're paying $2 a pop for this, like I'm talking like really low end, like people are charging more, $2 a pop, I was saving 1,200 a month. I forgot the one. So I was saving 1,200 a month, just purely on these inboxes. And obviously there's a bit of the setup set like cost, and you have to like run some other stuff. But generally, this is how this works, because I've done this for the last like it's close to a year now. It's literally been like 11 months because we're in like October. And this was insane. When this kind of like came to fruition, I bought these out. They're not really on the market anymore because what's happened, legacy panels where everybody sort of had them, and then a couple months ago there was like a big wave of everybody just decided to buy up the panels because all the resellers were like, oh my god, like everybody's panicking, and then all the panels got bought and the supply just dried up because it's the classic um, like supply demand or whatever. And supply, wait, this is no, this is demand, and this is supply. And it went like this. Wait, that's the wrong way. Wait, how do you even make these graphs? I messed this up. But basically, demand was like this. Supply was like this. Oh yeah, I had this right. Sorry. So basically, this was demand. This should be time. Forgive my economic skills. And basically, this was fuck. This was supply, and this was demand, right? So demand went up, supply went down, and at a point it hit an inflection curve, and everybody was like, "Holy shit, the market's kind of like disappearing." So everybody then started buying up all the legacy panels. So these are dried off, like pretty much dried off the market. Like if I was to sell my legacy panels, I'd be looking at it. I'd be like, "Hey, it's like in the last 11 months, I've probably saved between 10 and 15 grand very easily." Because that's like I used to spend like about a bit like a grand a month just on inboxes, like buying from different providers and everything like that. So there's that, right? So we're gonna get rid of all this because this is I don't want to see my nonsense drawing skills, right? And this is that's the basic setup. And then now you're asking, what is EDU and what is nonprofit, right? So EDU and nonprofit is kind of in the name. So EDU panels are just basic panels that you can buy. No, sorry, let me take that back. It's not that you can buy, you can sign up to Google for them. And there's like an education section where you can sign up. You have to send details of an education segment. And you basically get an EDU panel, and Google supports this, and they facilitate all of the orders, and they just give it to you for free because they're like, oh, you're an education place, you're doing something good for the world. And it's the same for nonprofit. This is for like charities and stuff. And it's just Google saying like, hey, I want to support the world. They're just trying to have it like a good kind of like front facing stuff. It's classic marketing, PR, but you can get these for absolutely free. And I've seen these go all the way up to 10,000, like 10,000 inboxes, right? You can put 10,000 inboxes on a panel, and it's like, hey, who the fuck needs 10,000 inboxes? Only a big organization. So you buy that, right? And then from this, you can then put on a ton of inboxes and a ton of domains as well. And that's the thought process behind EDU nonprofit. And what has basically happened is Google went through and they were like, ha, all of you disappear, right? You're all going to just disappear off the planet, right? And obviously this doesn't happen to everybody. Certain people were staying within limits, which is on to my next point, which I'm not fully done this, but just a little bit of the next point is like one of the ways of stopping this is to just regulate the amount of inboxes and the amount of outbound you're sending. Because my legacy panels didn't get taken down. I still have them, and I have 300 inboxes, and I have 100 domains. And there's just a big wipe of the market of anybody that was abusing. I think I was in a WhatsApp chat, and someone was like, "Hey, this panel got taken down. We had 1,200 inboxes on it. This is kind of an issue." I'm like, "Yeah, no shit, it's an issue. You had 1,200 inboxes, and you probably got flagged for spam like a billion times." So it's just one of those things where um, they just went through and they just completely wiped the market. And then yeah, so this is what happened. And then the fifth way, which is the other way, which I didn't really go through, is like a reseller like partner. So I'm not going to speak on this too much because I don't have full insight, but all I know is they sell on behalf of Google. And when you buy in bulk, they give you a discount of sorts. And what these guys are able to do is they buy inboxes for X amount if they're at scale. So like let's say they buy for like $2 or something, or 250. I don't know the exact numbers, and they can just resell to you. And this is the like next safest option, because other than buying direct, if you know how to do it properly, the next safest option is buying straight off a reseller. Reason being is they're buying obviously straight off Google, and it's the same. It's just the same setup then, because they're just like, hey, you're buying at scale, like you're a reseller, we trust you, etc., etc. So, yeah. So anybody that's selling at around, if you see anybody that was selling for $2 in inbox, that was probably EDU or nonprofit, and these guys are getting absolutely abused the fuck out, like this EDU nonprofit setup. So definitely something to look into. So yeah, so this is the Google ecosystem right now. It took a massive fucking chunk, took a massive hit, and just a few like tips on how to like regulate this in the future and make sure this doesn't happen. Because if you were all in on an EDU person, because you're like, hey, it's $2, hey, we're saving a couple, like a little bit of like XYZ, it's like you kind of got screwed. So you don't really want that to happen. So my recommendation is definitely to basically, if you have access to a EDU nonprofit legacy, you guys are probably smart enough to like just regulate, just regulate it. Like don't fully like go all in, and put all of your stuff on one thing. So that's the first thing. So just regulate. Because again, I'm working like I do a lot of consulting work, and I do a lot of like just like I have insight into a lot of agencies because I do consulting, a lot of place stuff, go to market, and all I'm seeing is when they regulated their sending and they just kept it at a pretty reasonable amount, they didn't get screwed and they still have their kind of setup. So regulating it is the other one. The other main one, which you're going to hear a lot right now, is just diversify. Like not everybody got shut down, and a lot of people only got some of their stuff taken down. So, like, if you bought direct from Microsoft, or sorry, not Microsoft, Google, you would have been fine. If you bought reseller, you probably would have been fine. What I'm hearing a lot is legacy, EDU, nonprofit got completely scrunched into a ball and just thrown out the window. So, yeah. And even then, like if you regulated on those like tenants and panels, like you would have been, or I keep saying tenants, but the workspaces and panels would have been fine. So yeah, that's the setup. And the final thing is like with the diversify, you also could have went into Outlook and SMTP just because of, well, they're not Google. So that's the other one. You can definitely diversify on that. Just another thing on this. So I also bring this up. If you're looking to diversify, we do run MTOS pre-warmed accounts. So yeah, we basically have 800 to 1,000 emails a day from pre-warmed Outlook accounts. And this is just a very simple setup where we kind of go in and we basically build out the infrastructure, the inboxes, everything for you already. And then all you have to do is come in and just pick a domain you want, and you can pick the age of how long they've been aged for. We keep the pricing very simple. So for like $100, you're able to send around 800 to 1,000 emails a day from one domain, and the domain cost is $15 as well, just per domain. And yeah, this is just a general setup we've been running, and pre-warmed up is a good way of just getting everything off the ground. So if this is something that interests you, this is something we're running. But that is the general setup for. Let me see here for the Google as well. So this is the general setup for the Google, and then if you want to try Outlook, we also run MTOS pre-warmed. So yeah, hope you guys have a great day. Enjoy, and I'll see you now. Bye.